Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today and giving me this opportunity to share my story with you all. And I'm so excited to share this as this has been the turning point of my life. And I hope this helps you choose your path and your career in your life also. And so let's dive in. So, firstly, I would want to let you know that nutrition found me. I was not looking for nutrition at all during my early years, my 10th standard or my plus one, plus two. Nutrition was not my something that I would choose for myself. It is something that destiny brought into my lap and it was chosen for me. And maybe sometimes, even like me, you also feel that you have been given the opportunity of something that you never wanted and you are put in a box. You might feel it that way, that you are in a box right now and somebody has put you in that box, the box that you didn't want to be in. And later on life unfolds and you get to know that maybe this was the best for you and this is what you're meant to do. Maybe you didn't know your purpose back then and you didn't know better for yourself, but universe knew or God knew. And it's the same thing happened with me. It all started when I was in 10th standard. I think even before that I had always planned on taking up medical as my stream or subjects in my plus one and plus two or my higher secondary education. And that was my main goal. I wanted to be a surgeon and I wanted to enter medicine. And but I never thought of it as a very competitive kind of a field or somewhere. I had never thought about all such uh, things or all such futuristic realities of life. I was just into that I'll study and I'll get into medicine, and that's all I had in my mind. And I was always an average student in my school. I was not in the top tier or in the top 10. I was not like that. And physics and chemistry were somewhere where I lacked that. My major interest was in biology. And but I just knew somehow in me that medicine was something, or medical field is something that I wanted to go into, and that was my field. That's what I knew. And even when I entered plus one, I remember my father telling me that why do you want to do medicine, or why do you want to even do medical as your, why do you want to choose medical as a stream? It is such a competitive stream and you have to study so much. Why do you want to do it? And I remember I was like, no, this is what I know of. I want to do this. I don't care how much hard work it takes or anything. I just wanted to do it. And I did my plus one and plus two, and then I applied for the NEET examination, which is an all India entrance exam for medical students for MBBS in India. And I still have the the cards of NEET. And I remember applying, and I was someone who had never known of the harsh realities of competition, and you have to secure a seat in a government college, otherwise the fee structure is too high for you to the expenses are too high. I had never thought about anything. I was just into that I want to do NEET, and NEET is I want to take medicine as my subject, and I was adamant. And I did pass the exam. I did get a private seat, but I didn't join it because of the tuition fee. It was too high, and I was devastated. I was crying because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to do microbiology. I didn't want to do biochemistry. I didn't want to do a basic BSc. I just didn't want to do it. And I had always imagined myself in the hospital, and I had always imagined those scenarios where I'd be a doctor and things like that. And it was a very, very tough time for me because I had to accept a reality which I was not ready to face. And during that time when I dropped an year, I remember my mother telling me, you take nutrition, why don't you choose nutrition, do BSc in nutrition? And I was like, no, digestive system was not my subject. I didn't like anything related to it. I didn't like vitamins, minerals. I didn't want to study it. And I remember telling my mama that no, this is not what I'm gonna do. I don't like it. Why are you posing it onto me? Why are you pushing it into me that you have to do it? And my mother was like, this had been her childhood dream, and it's okay. It's a very it's a field of upcoming science and everything. It was a field where you would achieve the greatest success, because in India or in any other country, nutrition is something people have started focusing on. And she told me all such things, but I was me, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But then she herself, like, she took the decision in her hands. She saw which colleges are available, which colleges have BSc in clinical nutrition and dietetics. And she started searching, and she found that it was in Mount Carmel College, Bangalore. She couldn't find anyone in the northern part of India, but she found it in the south. And she saw that only 2-3 days were left for the admission, and she said, we are going to Bangalore. And I remember we went to Bangalore, and uh, I got the seat on the first day, and I was admitted to the college. And I think my course had to start within a month after that. And when I came back, I remember I just couldn't accept it. I was happy that I'm not wasting my time, or I'm not, distracted or just crying. And I was happy that I got admitted somewhere, at least that too within a go. I didn't have to struggle also. But I was really, really not interested. I remember during my first year, I just studied for the academic purpose. I just didn't want to do it. I would always imagine that how my friends are into MBBS, and how their life is, what are they studying. And I used to watch surgical videos on YouTube, and that's how my mindset was at that particular time. And then 1 year passed. I did score well, but I wasn't giving my best. I wasn't learning it, to that it could help me, like, use it. I couldn't retain the knowledge just after the exam. I would just vomit it on the paper, and I would forget about it. That's how I studied nutrition the first year. And then 2020 came, and that was my second year, I think, the end of second year. And I remember I suffered from uh, very, very excruciating pain due to, like, something related to gastritis. And because I was having a lot of junk food, I was having a lot of sodas and a lot of, like, spice and fried foods. And, like, there was no restriction on my diet during that COVID time. We were cooking at home, and we were eating everything that was possible. And I suffered from a lot of pain. I couldn't digest water. Like, I would drink a sip of water, and I'd have some pains in my stomach, and I would cry, and I would leave that also. And this went on for a week. I think I had suffered from diarrhea. I was suffering from diarrhea, and as soon as I would pass my stool, I would feel a little relaxed, and then I would sleep on the floor of the washroom, because it was so much pain. I couldn't even sleep at night. I was having so many painkillers and antibiotics and everything. I went to doctors, and they were like, it's just like flatulence, and the flatulence is roaming around in your body, and that's why you're feeling pain everywhere in your abdominal area and your back. And I didn't find it a good enough reason. I knew that there was something else. My stomach is not fine. It's why was it happening to me? And nobody else in my family suffered from it, even though they were having the same diet. And why me? And later on in life, you get to know that why you went through something, and the other person who was doing the same things, they didn't go through that. And I knew later on, I now understand the reason. It was to teach me nutrition. It was to develop that curiosity or inquisitiveness to learn nutrition, because until you suffer from a pain, I don't think you can understand what the other person is going through. And it would always be the surface level understanding, unless you suffer from it yourself. And when I suffered from that pain, I started searching for answers. I was going through my nutrition textbooks, my college textbooks, and I really didn't find much, something that would work and I was at that time taking online Ayurvedic courses and everything. I was learning about Ayurveda, and I was applying something or the other which they said works for their patients. And I don't know what worked and what didn't work at that time. I was just doing something or the other. I would have, like they told that have some honey in water with some black pepper and for such pains, and I just had some curd with water and salt and something like that I started having, and I had everything cooked. I had the fruits cooked. I had stewed apples or cooked bananas. I just had everything cooked, even the fruits. And with time, I did come to digest rice and rice based meals, but I was still I was scared of that feeling of pain, and that's why I didn't have junk food for a long time. I wouldn't even have fried bhaturas or fried food at home. And I remember I did have something like chana, or I did have something like that. And I think my at home somebody had put baking soda to make it cook faster. And I remember when I had that, I suffered from that pain again, and I understood that baking soda was something that didn't work for me, and I stopped having that. I cut it out from my diet. And but I don't know why a particular ingredient is not working for me. At that time I didn't know the reason for some foods to work and some foods to not work. I just knew, okay, this doesn't work, so I was just eliminating. And with time, I could digest a lot, but I knew my digestion is a little bit weak still, that if I push it, I would suffer from that pain again. So after a year, I guess, I looked for a lot of dietitians online. I was searching through accounts on Instagram and YouTube videos of many dietitians and people, so that and I read a lot. I was not at all a reader before this, but just to search for those answers, I started reading so much. I started reading nutrition textbooks from different people from different backgrounds, and then I came to know what was happening. And I would share the book recommendations in any other video, but I knew what was actually happening. And then I applied the information on me, and I saw that with time, within 4 or 5 months, my digestion was back, and I was happy that it worked. And then just to test that knowledge, I started applying it on my brother and my family members, and they saw results, I saw results. And that's how my faith in nutrition grew, and I understood how important it is for everyone, how important it is for people to just know their body and food, and what food to eat when, if you're suffering from such a pain, what to do. Because we are not taught that. We are not taught nutrition or our food habits, about our food habits, what food choices to make in particular conditions when we are young. And unless you take this field or choose this field, you are not taught about it at all. And also I realized, unless you enter a practical field where you are testing that knowledge, I don't think the bookish knowledge actually even works that well. And you won't retain it also, it doesn't gel into you. So with time I understood that nutrition is the foundation of every other treatment that you receive for your disease or your condition. So unless your nutrition is fixed, I don't think supplements work. I don't think medications work that well. So even in my hospital practice, I had a 9-month internship at PJMER, and I remember that the kind of diets that work for normal people are not something that you can apply on such chronically ill people or critical patients. You have to know the difference, and such things you learn through your practical experience, and you cannot neglect it. And with time now, I have come to realize that I love this subject, and God gave me, or He didn't give me something like they show, no, in some pictures, that you have a small teddy bear and God is hiding a big teddy bear and you're just crying that I don't want to give this, I don't want to give this, I love this teddy bear, but you don't realize that God has something bigger for you. And I think you realize it later on in life. It's the trauma of losing the MBBS seat had been there with me for a long time. I think 3 to 4 years it was there in me that I had wanted that for such a long time. And why still, even though I did fell in love with nutrition with time, but not getting something and not understanding the value of something that you have already got, I think it takes it, you have to understand, and I think it takes time, so it's okay. Just it's better to learn it early than not learn it at all. The lesson, it's never a mistake, always a lesson. So that's how I understood that maybe I was meant to do the best in this field, and maybe I would have not done that well in MBBS. And with time, I also realized that I cannot take in that emotional, what do you say, that when you see patients at the hospital and their families at the hospital, and I am a very sensitive person, so I take up their emotions and I also start feeling that. I'm very, very empathetic that way. And I think that would have not worked if I was in doing my MBBS, because you have to be a little bit colder. You cannot take everybody's pain onto you. And I think with nutrition, you can help them with that empathy. And I think that's why, some things in your character makes God choose something better for you, which you think is not better, but with time you realize. And I need to tell you that, let anybody tell you that skills matter and just your curiosity matters. You need to perform academically well. You cannot just leave it. Even though I didn't receive the MBBS seat and I entered a college where I didn't want to go, there was one thing in my mind that it's a new start. Now, wherever I am going to prove myself that I am the best at that. And because I think most of the MBBS students must have gone through this, that people around them are judging them, that how could they not get the seat when other people have gotten the seat or government seat, and everything of such sort. This, the loss of self-esteem and confidence that you face during that time, I think that triggered me and pushed me to do academically really well in my other courses, like my BSc and my postgrad diploma and my PGI internship. Like, it was a major push to do academically well, and because academics was the only thing that I could show now as my scorecard that I did my best. And then later on, as my interest increased, and my intensity to learn nutrition increased, I think with that, I never felt tired of learning nutrition. I just kept on doing what I got. And I have some, like, I did receive uh, like A plus plus first class exemplary in my BSc. Like, I did my best. I really, really want you to do your best too. These things matter. These actually matter. Even in my postgrad diploma, I did receive first class distinction, first division. And then I did have an opportunity. I was blessed with an opportunity to do a research at PJMER, and I did a research in cancer, and I was given the opportunity to present the case at NIN, National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad. And I was given an opportunity to present another case at PJMER. And with time, everything unfolds and you're given different opportunities. And just have faith in God, and just have faith in God. That's all I want to tell you. Have faith that everything is working for you and not against you. There is nothing in this world that is working against you, even though at that particular moment, in that situation, you might think that, oh, this is a difficult situation, why is it happening to me, I don't think this is working for me, I think, why is God doing this to me, why is universe doing this to me? Just remember that God is doing it for your better. Just trust that. Do not lose yourself in that sadness or that depression of losing something that you wished for. Just remember that God is there for you, and just ask Him to help and throw everything at His feet. That you do it now, you know everything which is better for me, and now it is your responsibility to help me through this. And just leave it at that, and just trust it. And yes, so this was my story, and thank you for staying with me throughout, and thank you for giving me this opportunity and this space where I'm comfortable to share my life journey and my difficulties. I'd obviously share more on what are the courses which I did, and what are the requirements for PGMER and other such academic requirements for different colleges where I studied in other videos, and I'd love to educate you on that. Till then, see you. Bye.